Hey, how's everyone doing? This is Oz with Oz Mechanics, and on today's video we got this 2008 Honda Accord right behind me. So the issue with this Honda Accord, customer was stating that every morning when he would wake up, he would try to crank the vehicle over and it was a crank no start. But after a couple of tries, it will start. And on top of that, he would state after he would do that, he can drive for a couple of hours and nothing is going on. But if he lets it sit for more than 8 hours, it does the same thing. So how about in today's video, we try to figure out this issue and give this vehicle back to the customer. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about this Honda Accord. So the code that we're exhibiting is a P060A. And that issue talks about the ECU being corrupt or a problem happening inside. The thing is that this guy has done a lot of stuff. He wants to replace the computer right here. But before I start doing anything, I like to do my own little research. So what I was finding out on these systems right here is that a lot of people were talking about the ignition coils causing this problem. So first thing first, I look at the hood and I notice that they replaced the ignition coils. Can we have a bad batch? Certainly we can have a bad batch. I started asking a little bit more because he started spilling the beans that he replaced a lot of parts on it. And when he got to one part right there, it really caught my interest. So he told me he replaced the spark plugs. And I asked him where he bought them from. I don't know if you remember, I think some people made some videos. I think Ford Tech Make You Loco, some videos on some Amazon parts that are not really real. They're basically knockoffs. So he did tell me that he replaced the spark plugs, but they came from Amazon. So that got my curiosity. So what I ended up doing, I actually got some brand new OE spark plugs, put them on there, and guess what? The next day it started off perfectly. Let it sit for another 8 hours, started off again perfectly, and then as well today it started off again perfectly. So I do have the spark plugs right here, and these are the ones that they got from Amazon. These are NGK. I did put them next to each other, the ones that I bought and these. I'm going to put a picture right here so you can see the slight differences, and I would notice it on the text. And as well, believe that these fake ones say Japan, the other ones say NGK on this part right here. Now what I want to do, if we already found the problem, next is I want to figure out what's going on. What I was reading on these is that there's a jolt of voltage going backfeeding into the to the actual ECM, and what it causes, it basically shuts it down. So when I was having this issue, I would crank the vehicle over and the security light will start blinking. It'll start blinking, 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 off, and then go again and it'll start. So right now what I want to do is hook up my oscilloscope, and we're going to put these spark plugs from Amazon and see if we can recreate it, because this is a 3-wire system right here. So we have power, ground, and then our PCM is sending out a signal to turn on the coils. So that's where we're going to be back probing at, and we're going to verify if we get any backfeed. And if we can find that out, that's going to be perfect. And then we can show this to other people that are having these type of issues, what to do and how to figure this out. So let's go to the front of the vehicle, let's hook up our scope, and let's see what we find out. All right, so we have this hooked up right here. So we're on the second day right now, because I did try to film this after like 4 hours of sitting, but remember what I told you in the beginning of the video, this normally happens almost after like 8 hours. So right here, as you can see, we have those coils from Amazon, and right now we have our scope hooked up to our command wire. So this is a 3-wire coil right here. So we have power, ground, and then the command. The power is coming from a fuse, the ground is going to, I believe, the block, and then the command's going to the PCM. So what can cause the PCM to act up? I'm looking on the command side. So we have our 4-channel scope right now, and let's go inside. Let's see if this acts up. Yesterday it wouldn't act up. Hopefully this is a new day. We're gonna see if it happens. All right, like I was telling you, when this would act up, this would just crank, 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 no start, and then we would have this little security light just keep on flashing. So here it goes. Let's see what happens. Oh, there you go. You see? Now it's flashing. Awesome. Let's go to the front of the vehicle and let's see what we get. All right, we're looking through this and nothing happened. There's no movement at all. Nothing moved. And I'm looking at this every way and we're not seeing any movement. I was hoping to see a spike on the first initial one, but we can see like it did jump up just a tiny little bit right here, but that's not significant enough. All right, let's give this another shot. Let's see what we get. It's gonna be over there, so here it goes. 3, 2, 1. All right, we can clearly see here that we had power from the coil, and then after that it just kind of just went to battery voltage, and we can see on these other ones that we had a movement there and a movement here, so that's the commands. So I'm probably gonna wait till later on today or another 8 hours. So right now it's like 10 o'clock. Let's wait till around maybe 6, and then we're gonna give this another shot. If not, we gotta wait till the next day. 8 hours later. So right now we have our scope hooked up. Right here we are hooked up to all the coils, but this is what I'm going to do right here. On one of the coils I am hooked up to the power, ground, and then the 2 comms coming from the actual PCM. So I want to see exactly what's going on, because I'm not going to lie, I tried first just hooking up to the actual connection coming from the PCM and I didn't get nothing, and then after that I went PCM and then plus power. So I want to hook up different ones because we have 3 wires. We have a power, ground, and then a command coming from the PCM, and we're gonna see if this does it. So let's get our key, let's go inside, and let's crank this over and see what happens. I've already waited about 7 to 8 hours, so let's see if it does it. Here it goes. You see it won't start, and then our security light starts to blink, and look at our it doesn't even show the temperature right there. So it'll just keep on going. Actually, let's go to the front. I want to see the scope. Look at this. And pretty much I don't see nothing too significant that would cause any problems, but we can see, so our yellow trace is going to be our power, and you can see we have voltage going up, and then our green trace is going to be our ground, and then our red and blue, that's going to be our command from our PCM. But I clearly don't see nothing going like too crazy, which would probably cause it. Beforehand I was hearing that there's like a voltage spike, but I'm not getting anything. So let me think this over and let me see what we can get, and then we can go from there. So let me think about this, and I'm going to keep this still shot right here, and I want to see exactly what we can get out of this, or what other tests we can perform. All right, so now we're inside the shop, and as you can see I have a set of spark plugs here and a set of spark plugs over there. After the test that I did, as you can see, we had no activity at all. I actually got a hold of my good friend, and y'all know him. He's from GoTech, Mike Becker, and he just brought up, he's like, how about you just check out the resistance on these spark plugs? So that's what I have right now. I have this set up so we can check out our resistance on our spark plugs. Let's see what we have right here. And why do the spark plugs have resistance? It's just to kind of reduce the noise. What I want to do right here, these are going to be the original ones. We want to clamp in one end to the actual top part, and then the other end we're going to be touching the center electrode right there. And we can see on these OE we got 6,000 ohms. And I'm going to go test out another one, about 5.5. About 6,000 ohms right there, if we can go down the line. All right, so now let's look at these Amazon ones. These, I think these are clone or cheap ones. and we're getting 3.3 thousand ohms, 3,300 ohms on these. So we're getting about close to half the specific ohms. And some are, I think these right here, these are reading a little bit off because we have to clean them. They've been in the vehicle for a while, so what I'd like to do right here, just gave them a little clean, and then we can get proper reading. So we can see that from this one right here, the OE, we got about 6,000 ohms, and then on these aftermarket ones, we're about half of that. I wish I could show you a little bit more on the scope capture, but this is getting to the point where it's going to be kind of like engineering part. I was trying to wrap my head around this, what is causing it to actually cause this problem. But this is the good thing. This is what I like about YouTube. People out there, we can all write together, we can all think together, and we can try to figure this out. So if anyone out there on YouTube land has ever experienced this, comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you haven't experienced it as well, put your thought process on this one. Thing is that I'm a shop right here, and you know, I'm trying my best to get this content out there, but as well, we got to get these cars rolling because I am a one-man shop. And the thing is that we've had this vehicle for about 7 days, but the problem is this only happens on the first initial crank. So we're doing test after test after test on a 4-channel scope. I wish I could go a little bit deeper, but what we realize is as soon as these are on, the next day it won't start. As soon as we put these on, they'll start. And these were actually starting for 3 days straight. I'm actually gonna go ahead and finish this vehicle up because the customer needs the vehicle, and I'm gonna give it one last try. Yesterday, these were acting up the whole day. We're gonna try it today, and we're gonna check it out. So what do you think of the video? If you do like this video, please put a big thumbs up, and don't forget, just comment down below. Let me know what your thought process would be on this one. Let me know if you're ever gonna buy Amazon spark plugs ever again. I know I'm not, and I'm pretty much sure I'm going to tell my customers about this. Y'all take care. Y'all have a nice day.